What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. My name is Erosium, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at the general class changes for patch 9.2. A lot of you guys might want to change your class or might want to play an alt instead in the next patch, and hopefully these changes will help guide that decision. As always, thank you to my wonderful patrons who continue to support the channel with their real life money. Always appreciated it, and I hope you are enjoying the guides on erosiumtv.com. We had 2 guides released this week, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that so far. But without further ado, let's get into the video. General Death Knight changes in patch 9.2. Final sentence: the Kyrian rune carving power now grants 4% per stack, was 3%. Duration reduced to 15 seconds and it was 18 seconds. And now it grants the rune and damage buff on the initial cast of Shackle Unworthy. And again, each time it spreads. Rampant Transference, which is the Night Fae rune carving power. Strength per stack of Death's Due has increased to 3% from 2%, which is quite a large damage buff and might turn some heads towards the Night Fae. Abomination Limb Necrolord Covenant ability, damage increased by 20%. This is massive for the Death Knights. Abomination Frenzy Necrolord rune carving power now increases enemy damage taken from Death Knights by 20%. It was 10%. And the enemies affected by Abomination Frenzy now also take increased damage from your minions for that specific duration. Convocation of the Dead, which is a conduit, now reduces the cooldown of Apocalypse by 1 second. Festering Wounds bursts at all ranks and now increases Festering Wound damage by 15%. Eternal Hunger Conduit increases minion damage by 6%, was 3%, which is quite huge specifically for undead players. Embrace Death Conduit causes Sudden Boom to increase death coil damage by 40%, was 35%, which is quite a large increase when you're looking at just general damage for the Death Knight. Brutal Grasp Conduit increases Abomination Limb damage by 30%, was 15%, which is absolutely massive. So overall, the Abomination Limb ability and Conduit, everything's increased massively. So it's really looking like Necrolord is going to be a great covenant for the Death Knight in patch 9.2. General Hunter changes coming in patch 9.2. I'm not going to lie to you guys, there's not a whole lot for Hunters, just general Hunter changes in patch 9.2. There's quite a few changes to the class sets, but as these are completely new, I'm going to cover those in a different video. I'm just talking about general Hunter changes now. The following beneficial effects will now show up above the player's resource display: Bestial Wrath, Coordinated Assault, Steady Focus, and True Shot. And there we have it. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry, Hunters, you're not getting a lot of general changes this patch. General Paladin changes in 9.2. Ashen Hollow, which is the Venthia ability, can now be cancelled early by pressing it again. This is going to be really useful for those Paladins that are Venthia. Ashen Hollow Venthia ability also has had a bit of a nerf as well, because Ashen Hollow's healing has been reduced by 15% for all specializations, which is quite a massive nerf to the Venthia. Radiant Embers Venthia rune carving power no longer cancels Ashen Hollow by leaving its area. Its effect are otherwise the same. Holy Paladin changes specifically: Ashen Hollow, Hammer of Wrath, Judgment, and Holy Shock damage reduced by 12%. This is quite a lot when you're considering the amount of damage that, you know, these Holy Healer Paladins have been doing in Mythic Plus. Maybe Holy Paladin won't be the class to go for Mythic Plus anymore. It might be something else instead. Avenging Wrath was removed, which results in a 10% nerf to Avenging Wrath, which is absolutely massive. So it's really looking like Holy Paladins took a massive hit in patch 9.2. Sorry, Holy Paladins. It looks like Blizzard have fallen in love with Shamans, because by the looks of it, Shamans are getting crazy buffs in this next patch. And I think this is caused because the just general lack of development that they did on Shamans, just overall for Shadowlands. So I think they're correcting that now by just giving them a bit of love, which should be cool. So for general Shaman changes in 9.2, Elemental Conduit Venthia rune carving a power now also reduces the cooldown of Chain Harvest by 1 second, when Flame Shock critically strikes. Flame Shock now has a target cap of 6. Frost Shock damage increased by 40%. Unruly Winds Conduit chance to trigger is now 15% to 50%. Based on item level, it was 20% to 35%, so this is actually quite a huge, improvement on a whole. Magma Fist Conduit, additional critical strike, chance is now 12% to 37.2% based on the item level. Was 15% to 25%, so again, another huge buff. Focus Lightning Conduit, damage or healing increase is now 5% to 12% based on item level. Was 1% to 4.5%. Again, an absolutely massive buff. Chilled to the Core Conduit chance to trigger is now 30% to 72% based on item level. Was 21% to 35%. Shamans gain access to 2 new Ghost Wolf forms, which you can get basically by getting the glyphs from the auction house or crafting themselves using inscription. The root effect of Earth Grab Totem talent now properly counts absorb damage when determining if enough damage has been taken to break the root effect. Splintered Elements, which is a Necrolord legendary, now increases your haste by 10%, which was 8%, for 12 seconds up from 10 seconds. Elysian Dirge Conduit now makes Vesper Totem 100% more effective against targets nearest to it, up from 60%. So it's an extra 40% buff, which is just incredible. Now just elemental shaman changes specifically here. Ice Fury Talent now causes your next 4 Frost Shocks to deal 225% increased damage. It was 300%. Fire Elemental has had mana cost of its abilities reduced by 90%, should no longer run out of mana. Amazing. So having Fire Elemental being able to constantly cast spells is going to be a huge improvement. Storm Elemental's Wind Gust now lasts the full duration of Elemental instead of 30 seconds. Chain Harvest Venthir ability now generates 3 Maelstrom per second damaged or healed. Enhancement Shaman changes specifically. Flame Shock and Frost Shock no longer share cooldowns. How epic is that? I am so pleased for that change. It's going to be epic. If you Lava Lash a target that has Flame Shock on them, Lava Lash will now spread Flame Shock to up to 3 nearby enemies in an 8-yard radius. If all enemies in that area are already affected with Flame Shock, it will refresh the duration of Flame Shock instead. Wow, that is so good for AoE damage. I can really see Enhancement Shamans pop in off in Mythic Plus, dude. Feral Spirit no longer shows up under the unit frame, totem, timer, slots, and potential despawning the spirits prematurely. Ice Strike talent and Sundering talent can now properly cause the Flame Tongue weapon damage effect. Ice Strike and Sundering are no longer able to be used whilst disarmed. General Warlock changes coming in patch 9.2. Deathbolt PvP talent now deals its damage over 3 seconds. It was immediate damage. This periodic effect cannot be dispelled. Warlocks can choose if they want to summon a succubus or an incubus, and that way you know that you're not being sexist because you got a sexy man demon and you got a sexy woman demon. Either way, you got a demon. Contained Perpetual Explosion Venthir legendary now caps the amount of bonus periodic damage it provides at 275% when hitting 10 additional enemies. Warlock pet ability changes in 9.2. Seduction pet ability now causes the target to slowly walk towards the demon. It now also has a chance to break on damage taken rather than always breaking on the first instance of damage. Whiplash pet ability now causes enemies to take 1% increased damage from the succubus or incubus. Can we just call it succubus? Each time it strikes, stacking up to 10 times. Duration is increased to 15 seconds. It was 10 seconds. Holy Priest changes happening in patch 9.2. Oh boy, there are some awesome changes here. I am so hyped for Holy Priests out there. They are gonna love patch 9.2. My dad's a Holy Priest, so I'm really hoping he's gonna have a good time with this. All healing abilities have been increased by 10%. All damage abilities increased by 15%. Symbol of Hope cooldown reduced to 3 minutes was 5 minutes, and channel time reduced to 4 seconds was 5 seconds. Holy Word Chastise damage increased by 25%. Prayer Circle talent now also reduces the mana cost of prayer healing by 25%. Guardian Angel talent now has the additional effect when Guardian Spirit saves the target from death, it does not expire. Afterlife talent now has an additional effect. As Spirit of Redemption, you may cast Resurrection, which ends the Spirit of Redemption. So effectively, if a priest is in the Spirit of Redemption mode, where it's like, dying basically, you can actually do a battle res, which is so useful for raids, will be massive to just groups in general. Binding Heal talent has been removed. Cosmic Ripple talent has been moved and replaced. Binding Heal talent now on row 40. New talent, Binding Heal, 20% of heal or flash heal on other targets also heals you. No more healing other people and dying because you didn't heal yourself. General Mage changes coming in patch 9.2. Harmonic Echo, Kyrian rune carving power, now also echoes the damage to primary targets affected by Radiant Spark's vulnerability. Frostmage changes coming in patch 9.2. Comet Storm talent no longer removes Winter's Chill. Yes, it's going to be so good. I'm sorry, Demon Hunters. I'm so sorry. There's no changes for you. You've been left in the dust. Goodbye. General Druid changes in patch 9.2. Sinful Hysteria, the Venthia rune carving power, now increases the duration of Ravenous Frenzy by 0.1 seconds with each application. Was 0.2 seconds, and you will not be overcome by frenzy for 3 seconds after it ends. Was 5 seconds. Restoration Druid changes in patch 9.2. All healing abilities increased by 10%. All damaging abilities increased by 10%. Life Bloom healing over time increased by 12%, and Bloom Heal increased by 20%. Nourish talent healing increased by 15%. Overgrowth talent mana cost reduced by 60%. Inner Peace talent now has an additional effect. While channeling Tranquility, you take 20% reduced damage and are immune to knockbacks. That's going to be so good in raid. Germination talent now has an additional effect. Rejuvenation duration increased by 2 seconds. Monk class changes in patch 9.2. Nothing. I'm sorry, monks, you've been left in the dust also. Rogue class changes in patch 9.2. You've also been left in the dust. Warrior class changes in patch 9.2. Death Sentence PvP talent has been reworked. Execute/condemn charges to your target up to 15 yards away. This effect has a 6-second cooldown. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure you click subscribe and you leave us a comment. Maybe even like the video if you really enjoyed it. Join the Discord. The Discord is a place you want to meet other fellow gaming heroes, and I'll see you next time. This is Erosium, out.